It is Stephanie Liu, and welcome to Lights Camera Live, where we shine a spotlight on the best and brightest marketers in the industry. That's right. So that way you could take your business from unknown to unforgettable. And I'm so excited today because we're going to be talking about how you can produce a successful live shopping event. We've always talked about live streaming and how to keep your audience engaged in a live stream, but what do you do to keep audiences engaged and turn them from browsers into buyers in a live shopping event? We've got Helen Lam from Livescale.tv coming back to Lights Camera Live, so you definitely want to be here. Having said that, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. All right, so whether you're currently already doing live shopping events for you, your brand, or even your clients, this is going to be an episode that you definitely want to be a part of. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched the previous episode, but Helen Lam totally crushed it. We were talking about all the different trends that were happening when it came to live shopping, and she shared so much that in the show, we started talking about, well, what are the certain elements that you would put into a run of show? And that is actually what sparked the idea of having her come back to Lights Camera Live. So hey, if you're just tuning in, go ahead and let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm here in beautiful sunny San Diego. Now here's the thing. Helen Lam translates numbers and observations to stories and strategies on a daily basis. Coming from the live shopping hub in Asia, she uses her expertise to decode everything live shopping, from the East to tactics and action plans for businesses that we can use here in the West. And so having said that, let me go ahead and introduce you to the amazing, the wonderful Helen Lam. Helen, welcome.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me again.
Welcome. And you're in Singapore, is that right? Or
Right now or?
Yeah, right now.
Right now I'm in Montreal. Livescale is based in Montreal, Quebec.
Love it, love it, love it. Cool. So, Helen, the last time that we actually had you on the show, we were talking about live shopping and all the wonderful things about it, especially the fact that it's now accounting for a big, huge of the pie when it comes to e-commerce online. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
You also have a podcast where you're always updating about like what's happening in the live shopping arena. So, do you want to care to share like any of the tidbits that you put out in your latest podcast? Just like, here's a fact that everyone should know.
Yeah, sure. So we have a podcast also. It's a newsletter report that we share with everybody bi-weekly. So it's called Live Feed. If you go search Livescale and Live Feed, you'll be able to find that, or go directly to academy.livescale.tv. What we do via Live Feed is basically we take what we see from Asia, which is already like, a well-established live shopping platform there, that we take what the businesses are doing over there and then translate it into something that makes sense for businesses in the West. Because while you're trying to take references from Asia or like from anything that is not in your country, you would like to actually isolate different kind of culture difference and to make it reasonable for your community and your audience to use. So this is exactly what LiveFeed is doing. And one of the episodes that I really want to share is we have an episode to talk about how to elevate your KOL to become a KOS, which is key opinion leader, to key opinion seller. So you probably, your business is already working with influencer. So if that's the case, you have an army of influencer that you work with, you know that they are really close with your community, and then they bring amazing performance for your campaign as well. And it's a really great starting point to start to see how you can maybe nurture those KOS to become a key opinion seller, which is a sales engine, sales booster that bring the great sales conversion rate for your live shopping event as well. So I definitely recommend everybody to go listen to that podcast. It's amazing.
So much, so much. See, the thing that I love about live shopping, especially with remote live video production, this has been a hot topic on the show for quite some time now. We have remote live video producers that are producing events for shareholders, investors. We started exploring the arena really of Amazon shopping as well, because if you're an Amazon influencer, that's another opportunity for you to go ahead and show off your skill sets as a remote live video producer. Now, we have here at Lights Camera Live, we have the Video Script Maker, which is awesome and great because it has things like intros, hooks, and teasers to keep an audience engaged. And when you were on the show, we were talking about different levers that we can pull to get an audience really, really motivated to buy. We talked about different things that you've seen your clients even do to create that FOMO effect, which is why I'm so excited about this episode. So Helen, my first question for you is there anything specific to the e-commerce component people should pay attention to before their live shopping event? Because I think that's really important.
Yeah, exactly. Because comparing to doing a just pure live streaming, for example, you go live on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, all you have to care about is everything that is happening within the video, right? The video is great, the audio is clear, and then you just have to interact with the audience. That's the only thing that you have to take care of. But when you're doing live shopping, as we said, live shopping essentially it's social media plus live streaming plus e-commerce. So you want to make sure the part that actually generate revenue is going to work well. So right before the show, it's really important to see. It sounds like it's very obvious, but in fact, a lot of clients forget about that. Is the inventory is the exact amount that you want them to be, either
Mm-hmm.
would that be little or too much? Because you don't want to have like people over ordering and you can't deliver it, right? But you also don't want to have it like run out of stock while you actually have a lot. You just forget to update that. And this is like really important just because live shopping event happened in a specific hour. It's not like a campaign that, oh, you discover that, you change it. It's gone and it's gone. It's that hour. So you really want to make sure that in that hour, at least the e-commerce part, it's really well functioned. It's the way that you want it to be.
That is so true. I find a lot of times, especially like Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales, like I'm all about like the flash sales because you have to stay on top of it. And just imagining if you're trying to plan like a campaign and who you're competing against as far as the attention span for your audience, that's going to be a lot of work for sure. So knowing how to motivate your audience and capture their attention to stay the entire time is going to be super important. Awesome. Good. So if you guys are just tuning in, we're talking about how to produce a successful live shopping event. Because let's be honest, not a lot of people are actually shopping in person. And so to create an experience where your audience, your buyers still want to be a part of that brand experience, but from the comfort of their own home, it makes it so exciting. So before we get started, Helen, I want to go ahead and play back the original video that we had that painted a wonderful picture about what Livescale TV has to offer. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I wonder if I still have it. I'm pretty sure I do. Let me go ahead and double check to make sure that I have it. And then we'll roll that for you real quick. Like, do I?
Yeah, at the meantime, maybe I can add a little bit for the previous question that we talked about. Apart from
Yeah.
checking inventory, actually, maybe one more thing that you can check is try to do the checkout flow yourself one time, just in case like different technology, different app that you have, they might not be compatible for that specific time because using a live shopping is adding in a lot of new stuff to your store as well. So you want to make sure that your client, that your customer, your viewer that want to become a buyer won't get stuck in the middle because there's a third party app that is not compatible with it. You really want to already spot all these tech problem, troubleshoot them, fix them before you go live as well.
Absolutely. The customer experience is absolutely essential. So I think I found it right here. Let me go ahead and pull this and then we'll be good to go. So here we go.
Welcome to Livescale, where brands can stand out and sell live. Most brands leverage video, social media, and e-commerce. At Livescale, we combine all three into a seamless, fully integrated white label solution that boosts your awareness, brand engagement, and sales conversion rate. From the moment you start with Livescale, you'll have access to a brand-owned dashboard where you'll have full control over how your brand looks and feels, even which products you'd like to sell live. Your unique event URL can be shared directly to your community, wherever they may be. Newsletter blasts, SMS, or social media. Be bold. Ready to maximize website traffic? Stand out by embedding your live shopping event directly on any website. during your event, benefit from Livescale's engagement features controlled by you in real time. If sales are your objective, Livescale's integrated checkout creates a frictionless experience. Orders occur directly in your e-commerce system, and the customer doesn't have to leave the experience once. No production team? No problem. Connect an iPhone, use multiple cameras, or stream from anywhere with your favorite co-host. Post-event, view analytics in your dashboard. Download a recording for later use, and just like that, you're standing out.
So that's a ton of fun. This is why I'm like, okay, Facebook Live offers opportunities where you can go ahead, all of you marketers, all of you entrepreneurs, brands, stores, it's a great opportunity for you to go live on Facebook, even on Amazon Live. But there's livescale.tv where, as you already saw that there's an opportunity for you to have a registration page, a beautiful opportunity for you where you can get the analytics in real time to see how your inventory is actually moving in the middle of a show. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, Helen?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, what is special about Livescale is the checkout is actually native checkout. So compared to any other competitor currently in the market, it's like you might have a really nice live streaming or live shopping experience that is white label, just like Livescale. But whenever the audience want to make a purchase, when they click on the product, they get out of the experience. There's no video available anymore. There's no audio available anymore. But just don't forget that they come to the show not just for the sales or like for the discount that you're offering. They're also coming for the host. They like the host. They want to stay and they want to watch the show. And you bring them out of the experience. The next time is okay, maybe I don't get it anymore. Like I'm just gonna wait until I finish the show. And then when the show is done, they forget about it. And this is what is so great about having a native checkout, because while they're making a purchase, taking their credit card, finish the purchase, they still hear it. They still see the show. It's all there. Oh, Stephanie, you're on mute, I think. You're still on mute.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, got
There you
it.
go.
My little one had entered into the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to say is that that's what I like about the live scale experience is that, as you said, you're in it, you know, and so you could still hear it in the background. If you're doing an actual product demo and you're let's say you're doing an interview, testimonials, all of those things are still a part of it. So the thing that I find most interesting as a remote live video producer, when I'm thinking through the run of show, I'm thinking about like the creative assets, the visual elements that can make or break a live shopping event. And this is why I wanted to have you back onto the show. So Helen, in your expert opinion, with the clients that you've worked with, what visual elements or call to action should someone prepare for in a live streaming event?
Yeah, I think it's quite similar to what you have been doing with the e-commerce platform. You want to have the call to action to remind them to make a purchase, right? And I always say, like, for example, visual element, it's just like what Stephanie's doing. Like, they have a logo on top of it. My name will come up in here because now you want the audience to know who am I. You want the audience to remember the show of the name. And then for your live shopping event, you want them to remember there's a discount going on. You want them to remember that they can make a purchase. So you want to have visual element that indicate that, because don't forget, live shopping is really new for you, but it's also really new for your audience. So if you have that little arrow that pointing down to the product section, which is right below the video, it can help remind them like a lot easier for them to remember that, oh, actually I can make a purchase, and how about just take a look of the product. You wouldn't even know how much easier it will make it for them, how convenient it will be for them. So this is already first visual element things that you want to do. And if you're familiar with e-commerce setup, pressure mode, it's always the things that you want to do. You want to do a countdown for your show. How long will this discount last? Maybe 5 more minutes. Or like if you already know that, oh, it's sold out, this product is sold out, make it loud. Tell everybody that if they're not getting it, the one that they want will be the next one that's going to be sold out. So this is a thing.
No, go ahead. I was just imagining if I was in the act of about to purchase something and a little voice was just like, maybe hold off, or if I get distracted, then all of a sudden you popping up to saying, okay, that's it, it's done. I'm like, oh!
Yeah, I think this is really important. Yeah, this is just really important because let's say you're booking a hotel, you can see from different websites, oh, how many people are looking at that product, right? How many, like, it's only 2 room left. These are the information that you want to give them because it's really valuable information that to tell them I might miss the discount. So this is something you want to do as a visual element. And the next thing is anything that can help your host to basically either demonstrate a product or make the experience a lot more fun. And then without any visual element, do it because if your customer is happy, it's just a lot easier for them and make them feel like, okay, I'm like feeling having fun here. Maybe I want to make a purchase as well. It's just I remember Stephanie mentioned that last time. Is the what do you call that? The happy dolphin, something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah. It's the happy brain chemicals, the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Yep.
Yeah, those are the things that will lead to the purchase. So you want to really make them feel like they're enjoying the whole show. So these are the things that you want to do. And call to action. These are things that is not just something you can do with visual elements. I've always been trying to tell all of our client or the host that we have a chance to get the training with is you will do call to action on any website, either a button or just like a ticker that's going to go around. Why wouldn't you do that during a live shopping show, right? One of the examples is the most famous live shopping king in China called Li Jiaqi. He's called Lipstick King because he can sell a lipstick in 2 seconds. And how he does that? It basically he was try the lipstick on and it would say, "Oh my God, get it." If whenever he say this sentence, "Oh my God, get it," that's his sales tagline. Excuse me, that is his sales tagline. It's his call to action. Every time he say this sentence, the lipstick is gone in 2 seconds, like all sold out. And you have to understand, you have to build your own sales tagline, own call to action that fits your personality, that fits the brand personality, fits the host personality. With time, people are very used to it. When you say that, they feel like it's guaranteed pleasure. If I make this purchase, then they're gonna get it. There's like no brainer for them.
I love that. So it's okay, get it? Is that what he says?
Yeah, well, in Chinese, but it literally translates like, "Oh my God, get it!" It's like buy it now. And within our client, there is one expert actually. He's like an expert telling you all the chemical details and everything. But whenever she felt like, oh, there's something that's really cool that you should get it, she would be like, add to bag. It's almost like brainwashing. Every time she saw something, it's like this one add to bag. It was like, oh yeah, maybe I should. Then you add to bag, right?
Wow. Okay. I like that. I like these call to action. So are they physically saying it or are they doing like what I do where I could push on my stream deck and a certain like sound effect comes out?
Honestly, I think both would be great because I personally is a huge Twitch fans, and for some like once people like give a donation, you will have
Yeah.
like some people do like a sound effect, oh thank you for the money and things like that. For me, it's just such a joy to hear that whenever like someone donates some money and you have like a really cute sound effect that pop out, and I know like Stephanie does that too. Like
Oh
every now and
yeah.
then you have some sound effect. So like you can either say it by yourself or you can build it as something that you just click. Like it's any other way that you think it fits your personality or fits the brand personality, it really works. The key point here is really don't forget to insert the sales tagline, the call to action every now and then. You do it on Instagram, you do it on any kind of marketing campaign, landing page. Why wouldn't you do it on a video, right? Just don't forget
That
to do.
makes so much sense because you want to have everything in alignment. You want it to all tie back together. And so my favorite is, how you like that? You know? I'm having a ton of fun with that. P.S. By the way, HG Super D is asking if you could ask a question. Yes, please go ahead and ask your questions. So just go ahead and drop them in there. In fact, here's a good question that we had from Kay. So Helen, she's asking, is this available for any other e-commerce platform other than Shopify? So does Livescale, does that integrate with other platforms at the moment?
Yeah, so for Shopify, it's the easiest integration that you can work with Livescale, but we also integrate with Commerce Clouds. So if you're using Commerce Clouds, you have like a one-time setup in the beginning, and then it will be the same, as easy as Shopify. So the advantage of using a Shopify store with Livescale is basically you install the app, and then we count it like 11 steps, you'll be able to create your first event. But with Commerce Clouds, the one more step they add in is just the technical integration that you have to do.
Very, very cool. P.S. By the way, I mean, there are a ton of resources that the Livescale team puts out together. And I had already mentioned there's that podcast that Helen puts out, but you and your team, you've done some amazing things. If I remember correctly, you had like the academy
Yeah.
also, right? Yeah. So let me see if I still have that in here. I might have it on over here. Let me go ahead and move this, and then I might have it. There it is. academy.livescale.tv, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Academy.livescale.tv.
Cool.
You'll be able
So
to see different things. Yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to give a little bit introduction of the academy. So basically, imagine it as a live shopping academy. It doesn't mean that you have to be a client yet. So a lot of information that we give on there that is not just, oh, you're using live shopping and you don't know what to do now, and then you have like step-by-step guides. Of course we have those things, but there are also a lot of things that we want to let people understand if live shopping it's a good fit for them, because I will be lying to tell you live shopping is for everybody. Will live shopping work for a lawyer firm? Probably not, right? Because those are not the kind of thing that you want to make a decision within an hour. It will work for consultation for some kind like marketing or different kind of therapy, because you want to know about their opinion first before you book a section. But those are the things that you can utilize, but there are some things that you can't utilize. Making an appointment for a house visit, it will work, but to purchase a house with live shopping, it might not work. So I'm not going to lie and say live shopping is for everyone. So on Academy, you'll be able to see different kind of example from either Asia or from North America or from Europe. If that industry using live shopping doesn't make sense, how are they doing it? Like what kind of difficulties they're facing? Is your team and your company ready to give these resources and effort to do it now? You can identify your step, your stage, and then to see if it fits you as well within the academy.livescale.tv.
Wow. I'm telling you, Helen is on this like day to day, sends me emails every now and then to like let me know, hey, have you heard about this? Or what's so great about you too is that you it's like you keep tabs. Like, hey, if you have a client that knows this, here's some amazing facts for you, because I'm always talking about live streaming and there's always events that I have to do. And it's so nice to have like your email and just like, hey, what's happening in Asia? Do you see that? Do you know, like maybe it's going to hop over here on the West? And it's so wonderful to have you like as a part of that resource for me. So you guys, yeah, definitely check out the Academy and all the things, because they're always pushing out new things. I even got to hang out with your team on Clubhouse. That was such a fabulous experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we also have a person on Clubhouse, and we're doing actually every Friday we have a power hour that we invite like expert like Stephanie on a weekly basis. Then you can come and you can also suggest a topic that you want to understand. Then we can all talk about that. Because for example, I think last week we were talking about how retail store can actually make good use of live shopping, because the foot traffic is a problem, it's a headache today, right? So you want to fix the foot traffic issue, then what you can do to basically to compensate for the foot traffic that you're not getting today. And it's really easy because live shopping is almost mimicking an in-store experience. It's like a one-to-many experience, because whatever I'm saying now, just like the webinar that we're doing with Stephanie today, we have a lot of people watching at the same time. But for the audience, it's like I'm reading like Stephanie is giving a shout out to different comments. We're answering different questions. So it almost feel like a one-on-one experience that you will have in the store when it comes to live shopping event. I want to know, hey, if this chain and this chain match together would look nice if you're a jewelry brand. I want to know if these eyeliner pink match with that brown another eyeliner that will look nice together. You can also ask questions like that, and then they can demonstrate to you in real time. So this is actually a really, really great way to work with, and we talk about all that on Clubhouse as well.
That's so cool. Here's a question that we had from one of our viewers, Helen, and she's saying, do they make up discounts and pretend that there are only a few left for their products to create excitement? Do you talk about like ethical ethical stuff when you're working with a client?
So we don't act like an agency with the client, definitely, but we do share a lot of best practices with the client. So how they're gonna do it in the end is really on their side, because there are a lot of different kind of practices on different things, right? But what we can tell you is like, if your items is limited, if your discount is exclusive, only happening during that hour, it's proven that it will definitely bring excitement. So if it's gonna be something that you just pretend that it's gonna feel left, you have to decide, because like I mean that's a decision on the brand side. But from my personal opinions, I will be like, you can pretend that, but they will find out at some point. And when you're doing live shopping or like live streaming in general, it's all about being authentic, and I think that's a long way to go as well. But in the end, it's really the brand decision to think if that would be the way that they want to use to create excitement.
Yeah, I was thinking the same way. I mean, honestly, I think if a brand were to say, "Hey, this is limited edition," and then they're going to go ahead and promote another event and it's the same product with the same type of FOMO experience, I can just see like the whole internet just just lighting up and not really, really working out for the brand. So thank you for sharing that. I think that's going to be really, really important. Here's a question that I also have for you is what are the key components for a sales driven live shopping event run of show? Like what are the like you must absolutely have this? We talked about having the sales tagline, which Katie was all like, "Oh my god, that was a good one." Oh my god, that was a good one, right? So, what else are some other things that you would want everyone to like write this down, remember this as you're producing an event?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're trying to promote really hard for something called shopping time. So you're already doing a live shopping event. Why would you want to craft a shopping time? Just imagine that you're watching a show, right? You're talking to the person, to the host, but you're also chatting in the chat with the other people that is also watching the show. You're really busy, and you really want to buy that item. You maybe already add to cart because you're so motivated. You really love it. You add it to cart, and then while the show is done, you want to make a purchase. The show is already done. You don't have it anymore, right? Because it's an exclusive discount that only lasts for that hour for the live shopping event. So what is super super important to add is also backed by data is we have noticed 90% of the purchase happen after the event. So what you do want to do and what we also see brands doing more and more, it's craft like a 10 minutes kind of shopping time in the end of the event. Either you play a little video about your brand that is either about a discount or just like a generic video about your brand, but make it not too distracting. Just something in the background that to still make them feel like they're happy, just like the background music that you have in the store. So it allows them to have time to finalize their cart because you want to continue that excitement and want them to finish the whole checkout. And they wanted to. It's just because they were so focusing on the content that they forgot about it. So give them a little bit of time, 10 to 15 minutes, so they can finalize the cart. It can definitely increase your conversion rate. And another way of doing that is interact with them. Maybe have like a chit chatting section, either in the middle or in the end. I would recommend in the end really because that's really the time when they get all the information that they want and then they're ready to make a purchase. So get a chit chatting time to ask, hey, I want to know what you guys get tonight. Can you guys like tell me what do you get? And then maybe when they're telling that, you can just talk a little bit about it. Make it fun and not too distracting. That's really important. Not too distracting so they can really finish.
I like that. Yeah, because if it was like the halftime show, right? If it was the halftime show of your event, they may forget that like, hey, it's limited quantity. Buy now. They're so engrossed into the actual halftime show, then they're not taking action at that point. One of the things that you had reminded me of for the livescale.tv is that on the dashboard, again, it connects to your Shopify store. And so you can see how quickly your product is moving off of the shelves, right? But it's also helpful for you to understand like maybe the host hasn't really emphasized the values, the benefits, tying the value to the need for the actual user. And so what do you do in that particular case? How do you actually prepare your clients to be like, okay, this is what you got to do if you notice like you've only had one sale and you're like 30 minutes into your program?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing about Livescale is like during the live shopping event, you will be able to see a real-time analytics, meaning that you know how many people in the show, how many people it's like liking the video, chatting, how many people viewing the product. And if your live shopping event is really sales oriented, you really want to pay attention to figure how many people clicking on the product to have a look. And then from that number, how many people actually finish the order and how much sales you're making. And all this information you'll be able to know on the go, real time. And if you see that not many people clicking the product, maybe they don't know they can make a purchase because I can't emphasize it enough. It's really new for you and really new for them. So cue your host to tell them, hey, the product that I'm introducing right now on my hand, you can just go below, click onto that, and you'll be able to buy it. Or use the solution that built in with the live shopping platform. So what Livescale is something called a product highlight. So what you can do is you click on the product, and then the product will appear in the corner of the video, and then people will be able to click right away on that product and then finish the checkout as well. So there are many ways, but it's just the key point is don't take it for granted that they will know and then they will make a purchase. Just make it really obvious with them. If you see there's not many people clicking the video, probably they just thought those are ads. Probably they didn't even know that the technology is so advanced today that I can actually make a purchase without leaving the experience. That's also another fear that your audience will have. Tell them, if you click on the product, you can finish it right away. You will still hear me. because that might be
Yeah.
something that they're wearing. They don't like. I'm watching Stephanie. I don't want to leave the show. I want to purchase after, but you don't have to. So let them know. They probably don't know because I mean, honestly, we are the only solution that have that as well. So it's really common that
Yeah.
they would have to be out of the experience. Because take Instagram as an example. They have a product highlight as well, but once you click, you lost the video.
That okay. See, that I love everything that you're saying about how to make the experience seamless, right? And really guide your audience through it because I remember when live streaming first came out, they're like, oh, how do I leave a comment or how do I share this? Right? We would have to walk them through the process. And even now, when you have something like Clubhouse, which is an audio app, we're all, there's a learning curve to it. And we would always say things like, if you want to follow the speakers, this is what you have to do. And we would have to instruct our audience members verbally on an app like that. And I would imagine that when you're on video, being able to have like the visual elements where you're pointing to certain things and you're doing this and all that, anything really to avoid confusing them, because otherwise they're going to feel like, what am I doing?
I like
What am
this
I,
one.
what am I supposed to do? Do I log out now?
Really cool effect you have over there. That's super cool.
Yeah. So I think that it's such a great reminder. So when you have clients and they're using LiveScale for the very first time, what is the onboarding experience like? Do they have someone like you where you walk them through the process? Do they take like a self-guided course? Like how does that actually work out?
Sorry, I missed the last part. Could you repeat the last part?
Oh, I was just saying when someone says, "Okay, I want to kickstart a live shopping event," and they
Mhm.
sign up to be on the platform, how do they get the ball rolling? Is there someone there on your team that's going to hold their hands and show them best practices like do's and don'ts?
Yeah, so if you sign up for our pro plan, for example, we have a 1-1 onboarding process. So what happened with the pro plan is once you once you subscribe to the pro plan, we will have a 1-1 call to try to understand what is your objective, what are the problem that you're trying to solve with our technology, that pain points that you're currently having, and then we will give you some suggestions and direction that you can look into. And then we also provide like webinar section that is expert from our internal team that craft out the most useful information for you. For example, how to maximize the traffic to your live shopping event. And then we have like a walkthrough of the dashboard. If you like, I mean, the process of creating an event with LiveScale is really easy, but we understand that sometimes it's just confusing. Wow, there's so many things, it's quite overwhelming. So while it's all manageable, we also have different kind of webinar that is included in the plan that you can take a look of to try to figure out how to use this platform, what will be the good idea for the first pilot series, etc. So and then after we'll also have like a sort of like a postmortem call that we will do that just to see if you would need more help to follow up a little bit on that. But honestly, we also have a lot of great resources in the academy, like the one that I've done with Stephanie. So we've done an episode on how to pick your remote live producer. So it is something that we suggest you guys to do because not everybody has the experience of doing live streaming. And like I always said, there's so many things that you have to handle in a live shopping event or even just live streaming, which you have to do it because this is the new trend, because that's the best way to stay connected with your customer. So just focus on the content and allow experienced people to help you out to avoid a mistake and then to save the time from just like figuring things out. For example, in the show that we had with Stephanie, she mentioned a lot about there are different kind of remote live producers. Some remote live producers even help you with the pre-live and post-live. As in the planning, the script writing, you can sit down with the remote live producer to come up with the visual elements that we said is super important for a self-driven show. And then afterwards, how are you going to utilize those things to repurpose it, share it on social media, or how to promote your event? Remote live producer like Stephanie will be able to help you out with all of this, and then we have all of these experts having their information shared with our community on academy.livescale.tv as well. So there are a lot of resources for you guys to get started. Like you won't be lost. There are a lot of guides that you can just download and follow step by step, and then you'll be safe.
That's what's helpful, right? Because I find that if you're trying to transition your store from what you've already known, it's, yeah, you could learn it all on your own and you could, graduate from the school of YouTube and whatnot. But it's so nice when you have someone that you can talk to and really dive into additional resources like the webinars, the podcasts, the Clubhouse rooms. Everyone has just been so helpful and just very, very open about what you can and what you shouldn't do. And the case studies too. That was the part that I had so much fun. Just like on the website, I'm like, oh, and you could do this, or I never thought about that. Like these bigger brands, they obviously have like a marketing team that has spent time being really, really creative, and so there are certain elements that you can take and remix it to really work for yourself. The question that we had for you is from Katie Simpson, and her question was, so they can still see and hear the live video when they click on the product to buy it, right?
Exactly. So if I give an experience on the mobile phone, it's like while you're making a purchase, you click on the product tab will slide up, and you can still hear in the background. You can still see a little bit of the video behind you while you're finishing the purchase. While you're looking, you're choosing the variant, you pull out your credit card, and you finish the purchase. And in desktop, is even better because the video will be on the side, and then the product tab description will be on here. So while you're making purchase, you have a full experience with the video feed and the audio feed still. So in both way, in whatever device, because we are all device friendly, you still hear the audios, you still see the video. That's really the key point that we're trying to maintain. It's like we want the audience to make a purchase, but we don't want to take away that joy of watching a show from them. And that's also why we're so successful in converting a viewer, a browser, to a shopper as well.
Absolutely. And so if you're thinking like, well, how do I add these elements? How do I make the show fun? Obviously, there are certain things that you can do. Like I love using Ecamm. You've seen the animated overlays pop up and all the other things. I think if you are a remote live video producer, it's so helpful as well to think about how easy you could bring in guests. And one of my favorite tools for that is obviously going to be RESTREAM. And so let's give you a quick tour about all the amazing things that RESTREAM has to do. And while you're watching that, go ahead and type in your additional questions, because Helen, you've sparked some creativity in folks. They're already like, ooh, wait, how do I do this? How do I do that? So before we dive into those questions, let's jump into this right here. Our bridge to live streaming across all platforms has arrived. ReStream takes care of the bandwidth and processing so you can focus on getting maximum visibility on your favorite platforms. To learn more, head on over to restream.io. So the fun thing about ReStream is that you can have these overlays, you could do your bumper videos, the countdowns, all the things really. And if you plan on having multiple people in your live shopping event, whether let's say it's a CEO, the CMO, testimonials, your influencers, they could all log in via ReStream, and it still connects to the Livescale platform because you have the RTMP. So that's really, really, really exciting. Here's a question for you, Helen, and this is from Case Speranza. I'll read it out for you. She says that some of my items may not be something that is on my website. Do you need to add all of the items to the e-commerce site?
So if I assume you're a Shopify user, so that's a really great part of it. It's like you can have your items on Shopify store, but you don't publish it. You only select to be available, make it available for Livescale, which will allow you to have the product in your store backstage that allow it to be used via the live shopping show, but it still stay hidden from your public storefront, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think absolutely that's doable.
That's so cool. I I feel like I could always geek out with Helen. Helen is just, when I first discovered everything that you guys have to offer and everything that's cool, I immediately reached out to the Ecamm Live and ReStream community. I was like, this is something that you should tap into. And it's one of those things where 2 years ago, people were telling me like, no, if you wanted a live stream, you had to learn all the gear, all the lights, and all the things. And then I was like, no, you could actually hire a remote live video producer to walk you through all of that. And I'm going to say it now, like remote live video producers producing live shopping events is going to be the next big thing. If you're not doing it already, get to know these platforms, reach out to Helen, discover what it has to offer, and take a look at the case studies, because I'm sure your clients are going to be super duper excited about it too. Honestly, everything's built in. It's not like, oh, I have to like cobble things together. Like it's all there and it all makes sense. So that's what's so exciting.
Yeah, want to also say is that actually earlier today we had a webinar, Ask the Expert webinar, just like 2 hours ago, I think. And the focus for today, I really wanted to share one concept. It's like live shopping is not just for big corporate brand, because you can see, of course, a lot of big corporate, they're trying to jump onto the trend because they have a bit more resources and they can just do a lot of experiment, right? But what we see within our client, the tier 2, tier 3 people, they're actually really, really good at doing that, just because for brand like that, it's a lot about the human touch, the interaction, your personality shine. And there's one sentence that's spoken, like shared by our guest today. Brett, he said, live shopping is basically a great extension of your personality of the brand, and I totally agree with that. For a lot of medium-sized or small-sized businesses, most of the time the owner herself or himself is actually the representative for the brand, and they have a great personality. The community love him or her and love to interact with that founder, the person. And we have an example of a jewelry brand that I always mention. Basically, the founder was sitting in front of the camera, just to sharing with the design why she designed that, what would be the most favorite combo that she likes to match with different chain or jewelry pieces, and the community love it. They nail the sales. And then for Brett, the guest that we have today that bring in one another example is like we have a host called Paul. Basically, he was selling Christmas decoration. And he really, yeah, exactly. He was really, really authentic interaction with the audience. He cares about how the decoration will look like on a Christmas tree, where will be the best spots to put in your house for the decoration. Those are the things that the community came in for. They want to know the advice. They want to have the fun of chatting how to decorate your house. And he nailed it. And he reached the sales, like one of the sales that they have is like 10,000, I think, within an hour for that show.
Wow.
And they're not like tier one, they're not tier one brand, right? They're just like a businesses that selling Christmas decoration. But you can tell these work so well for them just because those are the businesses that the personality shine the most.
That is so cool. And so while I still have you here, what I want to do is I want to show them the livescale.tv website. Again, if you didn't watch the original episode with Helen, definitely check that out because we talked numbers, case studies, and all the things. And so if you want to check them out, tons of info here, how it works, current clients that they have. It looks like there's even a downloadable for their exclusive live shopping guide. So get that in your hands. Get that in your hands, add it to your swipe file, learn more about it. Tons of content in here. I'm always so impressed at how you're always educating your customers on how they could always do better, right? On how they could always do better. And you talk a lot about storytelling and all the things. And yeah, it's really cool to see Livescale and all the beautiful things that you're doing. Fun, 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 fun.
It's important for us to do the educational work, not just because we want our audience or our client to be able to get a lot like better in doing what they're doing today. It's just because we have a lot of knowledge from what we know from different places that is successful, and we hold a lot of information, right? That in the company that we know we can learn from our community what works best. So it's actually really great to be able to share the best practices with everybody. So we will see a lot more like fun, interesting, either they're sales driven or not. Sometimes they're just like really good at using our engagement feature. We have poll with different kind of things that you can interact with your audience. Seeing those shows increase like the quality of the live streaming show. It's really, really amazing to watch.
So much fun. Yeah, absolutely. And so we have a comment here from Brigitte Limbanda who's saying, excellent points. Live shopping should be an extension of your personality. Everything I would say, from the visual elements to the sales tagline to the sound effects, all the things, right? Because it's nothing more awkward when someone's trying to like pitch something to you and you're just like, wait a second, that doesn't even sound like you. It doesn't even really sound authentic. And so, yeah, just through and through, have that values alignment and knowing what it is that you stand for, especially for your clients. For your clients, well, let's just do like a FOMO thingy. And it's not really a FOMO thingy. For folks that watch Lights Camera Live, I truly believe that you have ethics and moral standings to guide your compass. Right? So I think that's really going to be important. One last question for you, Helen, and this comes from Kay Speranza. I think she's still on the fence. She's been running her products, if I remember, Kay, on a different platform. And so she's asking, can the customer add multiple items to the cart and check out once? Will adding it to the cart hold the item for the customer, or do they have to complete the checkout? It's not like, hey, by you adding it to the cart, it has taken it out of the inventory. Do they have to complete the purchase for it to truly be like in their hands?
They do have to, because that's in the favor for merchant, right? You don't want to have a lot of people holding in their cart, especially when the event only lasts for an hour. You want to make sure that people entering their cart will finish the cart and they won't hold the inventory that someone else might potentially will check out, while this person that is holding it in just won't finish the cart, right? So you can first question the multiple items and then the single items. They can purchase single items, which is a fast checkout that we have. Basically, you click buy now and you immediately pump to the checkout step. You can also add to cart, so you can have like more than 2, 3, 4, 5 items that you will like, and then you check out all at once. So this is the first the answer to your first question. That's doable. And the second thing is, will they hold the item? No. But what will happen to them is like, if I put it in my cart for a long time and I decided to check out in the end of the show, but it's a really popular item, it's all gone. What will happen is they will have to remove it from the cart. They won't be able to check out with that item because it's already sold out. And as I've mentioned, because we have an instant connection API exchange with the Shopify store. So we will be able to know while they're trying to check out that this item is already out of stock from your Shopify store. So you also won't have to worry that, oh, I may like oversell. That won't happen as well.
Smart. So smart. All right. Cool, 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 cool. Helen, it's been absolutely amazing to hang out with you. What I would love for you to do is just give them some more info on where to find out about livescale.tv. We've talked about the website, the podcast, all the things. What are some other additional resources that you have to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're ready to know more about the live shopping solution itself, feel free to go to livescale.tv. You'll be able to book a demo with us. You'll be able to see a lot of different features that we have. And you can see a client case study. If you little tap on top, if you click client, you can see different client like fashion, cosmetic, jewelry brand, even like restaurant. You'll be able to see if that's something that you can envision yourself to use, or like try to explore some other like early adopter, how they're doing it. If you felt like, okay, I want to understand a bit more in practice, how can I bring traffic to the show? Would that be a problem if I don't have a production team? You're still in this stage, you're hesitating, you want more information, feel free to go to academy.livescale.tv, which, yeah, if you click one of it, like webinar, like or inspiration. So we have different sections. We have tutorial that tell you how easy it is to stream. We have different platforms. You can see like this one with Stephanie here. We tell you, if you really feel scared that you don't know about the production part, hire a remote live producer to work with you. And we have different kind of information here, basically to answer the question that you have towards the fear of going live, and also give you a little bit of guidance how you can get started. So before you commit to anything or like think about getting into live shopping, get to know what you're getting yourself into as well. And I also have like a little series in this inspiration is like, what were the best practices to do during the live shopping event? Should you talk to them? Should you ask them question? What kind of question you should be asking? So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, so webinar is also here, podcast is also here, our newsletter is also on this academy.livescale.tv. Really, if you don't want to go all the way to demo first, let's just passively receive some information and warm yourself up and see if that's something that fits your business as well.
I love the questions that you have here right now. I feel like these are 12 wonderful questions to gauge what exactly your client is trying to accomplish by having a live shopping stream, and it nails it down. I love the how to. It's like how to tell people and all of the things. So nicely done, and it's all organized, and you have webinars. It looks like your next webinar is going to be happening on March 25th. Is that
it's just the one that we just had.
It's the one we just had.
Yeah, I can do a little bit of advertising here. The next one actually is the 10 things that you don't want to miss. It's similar to this topic with the run-off show that you have for live shopping event. So that will be our next webinar topic. But we have a lot of different topic already on the webinar page that you can find to watch the replay as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Wow. So much amazing goody stuff. See, I told you guys that this was going to be really fun. All right. So having said that, thank you so much, Helen. You've been absolutely amazing. For those of you that have any other questions about integrations, other e-commerce platforms, I'm sure, Helen, that they could just go to the contact page, submit their questions, and just kind of really go from there. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Or just shoot us a text in the live chat. We will be able to answer you every time as well.
There you go. All right, everyone. Katie, Kay, Tim, the whole entire crew, Brigetti, thank you so much for hanging out with us. That's it for today. We'll go ahead and create the show notes. You'll always find them at lightscameralive.com. That's where we have all the goodies for you. So having said that, we'll say bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
You can see